What is Nidhi Company? Nidhi means a company which has been incorporated as a Nidhi with the object of cultivating the habit of thrift and savings amongst its members, receiving deposits from, and lending to, its members only, for their mutual benefit. For Nidhi Company registration, this object must be complied. Nidhi Company shall be a public company. The Nidhi Company shall have only one object in its memorandum, that is of cultivating the habit of thrift and savings amongst its members, receiving deposits from, and lending to, its members only, for their mutual benefit. Every company incorporated as a Nidhi shall have the last words Nidhi Limited as part of its name. No Nidhi shall issue preference shares. If preference shares had been issued by a Nidhi before the commencement of this Act, such preference shares shall be redeemed in accordance with the terms of issue of such shares. Declaration of Nidhi. The central government, on receipt of application, in Form NDH-4, of a public company for declaring it as Nidhi and on being satisfied, shall notify the company as a Nidhi company. However, a Nidhi incorporated under the Act on or after the commencement of the Nidhi Amendment Rules 2019 shall file Form NDH-4 within 60 days from the date of expiry of A. 1 year from the date of its incorporation, or B. the period up to which extension of time has been granted by the regional director. In case a company does not declare as Nidhi, it shall not be allowed to file Form Number SH7, Notice to Registrar of any alteration of share capital, and Form PAS3, Return of Allotment. Incorporation of Nidhi Company. A Nidhi shall be a public company, and shall have a minimum paid-up equity share capital of 10 lakh rupees. Every Nidhi existing as on the date of commencement of the Nidhi Amendment Rules 2022 shall comply with this requirement within a period of 18 months from the date of such commencement. On and after the commencement of the Companies Act 2013, no Nidhi shall issue preference shares. If preference shares had been issued by a Nidhi before the commencement of Companies Act 2013, such preference shares shall be redeemed in accordance with the terms of issue of such shares. No Nidhi shall have any object in its memorandum of association, other than the object of cultivating the habit of thrift and savings amongst its members, receiving deposits from, and lending to, its members only, for their mutual benefit. Every Nidhi shall have the last words Nidhi Limited as part of its name. Minimum requirement for Nidhi Company. Every Nidhi shall, within a period of 1 year from the date of its incorporation, ensure that it has A. Not less than 200 members. B. Net owned funds of 10 lakh rupees or more. C. Unencumbered term deposits of not less than 10% of the outstanding deposits, and D. Ratio of net owned funds to deposits of not more than 1:20. Within 90 days from the close of the first financial year after its incorporation, and where applicable, the second financial year, Nidhi shall file a return of statutory compliances in Form NDH-1 with the registrar duly certified by a company secretary in practice, or a chartered accountant in practice, or a cost accountant in practice. Restrictions on Nidhi Company, page 1. No Nidhi shall carry on the business of chit fund, hire purchase finance, leasing finance, insurance or acquisition of securities issued by any body corporate. No Nidhi shall issue preference shares, debentures or any other debt instrument by any name or in any form whatsoever. No Nidhi shall open any current account with its members. No Nidhi shall acquire or purchase securities of any other company or control the composition of the board of directors of any other company in any manner whatsoever, or enter into any arrangement for the change of its management. No Nidhi shall carry on any business other than the business of borrowing or lending in its own name. Nidhis may provide locker facilities on rent to its members, subject to the rental income from such facilities, not exceeding 20% of the gross income of the Nidhi at any point of time during a financial year. No Nidhi shall accept deposits from or lend to any person, other than its members. No Nidhi shall pledge any of the assets lodged by its members as security. No Nidhi shall take deposits from or lend money to any body corporate. Restrictions on Nidhi Company, page 2. No Nidhi shall enter into any partnership arrangement in its borrowing or lending activities. No Nidhi shall issue or cause to be issued any advertisement in any form for soliciting deposit, private circulation of the details of fixed deposit schemes among the members of the Nidhi carrying the words "for private circulation to members only" shall not be considered to be an advertisement for soliciting deposits. No Nidhi shall pay any brokerage or incentive for mobilizing deposits from members or for deployment of funds or for granting loans. No Nidhi shall raise loans from banks or financial institutions or any other source for the purpose of advancing loans to members of Nidhi. Share capital and allotment. Every Nidhi shall issue fully paid up equity shares of the nominal value of not less than 10 rupees each. No service charge shall be levied for issue of shares. Every Nidhi shall lot to each deposit holder at least a minimum of 10 equity shares or shares equivalent to 100 rupees. However, a savings account holder and a recurring deposit account holder shall hold at least one equity share of rupees 10. Membership of Nidhi Company. A Nidhi shall not admit a body corporate or trust as a member. Every Nidhi shall ensure that its membership is not reduced to less than 200 members at any time. A minor shall not be admitted as a member of Nidhi. However, deposits may be accepted in the name of a minor if they are made by the natural or legal guardian who is a member of Nidhi. A member shall not transfer more than 50% of his shareholding, as on the date of availing of loan or making of deposit, during the subsistence of such loan or deposit. The member shall retain the minimum number of shares required under law at all times. Net owned funds. Every Nidhi shall maintain net owned funds, excluding the proceeds of any preference share capital, of not less than 20 lakh or such high amount as the central government may specify from time to time. Every Nidhi existing as on the date of commencement of the Nidhi Amendment Rules 2022 shall comply with this requirement within a period of 18 months from the date of such commencement. Branches of Nidhi Company. A Nidhi may open branches only if it has earned net profits after tax continuously during the preceding 3 financial years. A Nidhi may open up to 3 branches within the district. If a Nidhi proposes to open more than 3 branches within the district or any branch outside the district, it shall obtain the prior permission of the regional director by applying in Form NDH2, and an intimation is to be given to the registrar about opening of every branch within 30 days of such opening. No Nidhi shall open branches or whatever name called outside the state where its registered office is situated. No Nidhi shall open branches or whatever name called unless financial statement and annual return, up to date, are filed with the registrar. A Nidhi shall not close any branch unless A. The proposal to close the branch along with the plan as to how the existing deposits have been or shall be paid off and how the existing loan shall be recovered is duly approved by the board at its meeting, and it has obtained the prior approval of the regional director by applying in Form NDH2 at least 60 days prior to such closure. B. The regional director shall consider such application and pass orders within a period of 30 days of receipt of such application. Any place, not being a registered office or a branch, where a Nidhi carries on its operation shall be closed within a period of 6 months, from the date of commencement of the Nidhi Amendment Rules 2022, and intimation shall be sent to the registrar in this regard in Form NDH2. Acceptance of deposits by Nidhis, page 1. A Nidhi shall not accept deposits exceeding 20 times of its net owned funds, as per its last audited financial statements. Every application form for placing a deposit with a Nidhi shall contain the specified particulars. The fixed deposits shall be accepted for a minimum period of 6 months and a maximum period of 60 months. Recurring deposits shall be accepted for a minimum period of 12 months and a maximum period of 60 months. In case of recurring deposits relating to mortgage loans, the maximum period of recurring deposits shall correspond to the repayment period of such loans granted by Nidhi. The maximum balance in a savings deposit account at any given time qualifying for interest shall not exceed 1 lakh rupees at any point of time, and the rate of interest shall not exceed 2% above the rate of interest payable on savings bank account by nationalized banks. Acceptance of deposits by Nidhis, page 2. A Nidhi may offer interest on fixed and recurring deposits, at a rate not exceeding the maximum rate of interest prescribed by the Reserve Bank of India, which the non-banking financial companies can pay on their public deposits. A fixed deposit account or a recurring deposit account shall be foreclosed by the depositor subject to the following conditions, namely, a Nidhi shall not repay any deposit within a period of 3 months from the date of its acceptance, b, where at the request of the depositor, a Nidhi repays any deposit after a period of 3 months, the depositor shall not be entitled to any interest up to 6 months from the date of deposit, c, where at the request of the depositor, the Nidhi makes repayment of a deposit before the expiry of the period for which such deposit was accepted by Nidhi, the rate of interest payable by Nidhi on such deposit shall be reduced by 2% from the rate which Nidhi would have ordinarily paid, had the deposit been accepted for the period for which such deposit had run. In the event of death of a depositor, the deposit may be repaid prematurely to the surviving depositor or depositors in the case of joint holding with survivor clause, or to the nominee or to legal heir with interest up to the date of repayment at the rate which the company would have ordinarily paid, had such deposit been accepted for the period for which such deposit had run. Every Nidhi shall invest and continue to keep invested in unencumbered term deposits with a scheduled commercial bank, other than a cooperative bank or a regional rural bank, or post office deposits in its own name an amount which shall not be less than 10% of the deposits outstanding at the close of business, on the last working day of the second preceding month. In cases of unforeseen commitments, temporary withdrawal may be permitted with the prior approval of the regional director, by making application in Form NDH2, for the purpose of repayment to depositors, subject to such conditions and time limit which may be specified by the regional director to ensure restoration of the prescribed limit of 10%. Loans of Nidhi Company. A Nidhi shall provide loans only to its members. In case of joint shareholders, the loan shall be provided to the member whose name appears first in the register of members. The loans given by a Nidhi to a member shall be subject to the following limits, namely, a 2 lakh rupees, where the total amount of deposits of such Nidhi from its members is less than 2 crore rupees, b. 7,50,000 rupees, where the total amount of deposits of such Nidhi from its members is more than 2 crore rupees, but less than 20 crore rupees, c. 12 lakh rupees, where the total amount of deposits of such Nidhi from its members is more than 20 crore rupees, but less than 50 crore rupees, and d. 15 lakh rupees, where the total amount of deposits of such Nidhi from its members is more than 50 crore rupees. Where a Nidhi has not made profits continuously in the 3 preceding financial years, it shall not make any fresh loans exceeding 50% of the maximum amounts of loans specified. A member shall not be eligible for any further loan if he has borrowed any earlier loan from the Nidhi and has defaulted in repayment of such loan. A Nidhi shall give loans to its members only against the following securities, namely, a. gold, silver and jewelry. However, the repayment period of such loan shall not exceed 1 year, b. immovable property. However, the total loans against immovable property excluding mortgage loans granted on the security of property by registered mortgage, being a registered mortgage under Section 69 of the Transfer of Property Act 1882 shall not exceed 50% of the overall loan outstanding on the date of approval by the board. The individual loan shall not exceed 50% of the value of property offered as security, and the period of repayment of such loan shall not exceed 7 years. C. Fixed deposit receipts, national savings certificates, other government securities and insurance policies. Such securities duly discharged shall be pledged with Nidhi, and the maturity date of such securities shall not fall beyond the loan period or 1 year, whichever is earlier. In the case of loan against fixed deposits, the period of loan shall not exceed the unexpired period of the fixed deposits. Rate of interest by Nidhi Company. The rate of interest to be charged on any loan given by a Nidhi shall not exceed 7.5% above the highest rate of interest offered on deposits by Nidhi, and shall be calculated on reducing balance method. Nidhi shall charge the same rate of interest on the borrowers, in respect of the same class of loans, and the rates of interest of all classes of loans shall be prominently displayed on the notice board at the registered office, and each branch office of Nidhi. Rules relating to directors. The director shall be a member of Nidhi. The director of a Nidhi shall hold office for a term up to 10 consecutive years on the board of Nidhi. The director shall be eligible for reappointment only after the expiration of 2 years of ceasing to be a director. Where the tenure of any director in any case had already been extended by the central government, it shall terminate on expiry of such extended tenure. The person to be appointed as a director shall not have been disqualified from appointment. Dividend. A Nidhi shall not declare dividend exceeding 25% in a financial year. Auditor of Nidhi Company. No Nidhi shall appoint or reappoint an individual as auditor for more than one term of 5 consecutive years. No Nidhi shall appoint or reappoint an audit firm as auditor for more than 2 terms of 5 consecutive years. An auditor, whether an individual or an audit firm, shall be eligible for subsequent appointment after the expiration of 2 years from the completion of his or its term. The auditor of the company shall furnish a certificate every year to the effect that the company has complied with all the provisions contained in the rules, and such certificate shall be annexed to the audit report, and in case of non-compliance, he shall specifically state the rules which have not been complied with. Prudential norms for Nidhi Company. Every Nidhi shall adhere to the prudential norms for revenue recognition and classification of assets in respect of mortgage loans or dual loans. Income including interest or any other charges on non-performing assets shall be recognized only when it is actually realized, and any such income recognized before the asset became non-performing, and which remains unrealized in a year, shall be reversed in the profit and loss account of the immediately succeeding year. The estimated realizable value of the collateral security to which a Nidhi has valid recourse may be reduced from the aggregate outstanding amount if the proceedings for the sale of the mortgaged property have been initiated in a court of law within the previous 2 years of the interest, income or installment remaining unrealized. filing of half-yearly return. Every Nidhi company shall file half-yearly return with the registrar in Form NDH3 within 30 days from the conclusion of each half-year, duly certified by Company Secretary in practice or Chartered Accountant in practice or Cost Accountant in practice.